Adding EV charging to any location will bring in a lot more money for your business, but it's a lot more complicated than it looks on the surface. This is a good thing though, because if you're able to figure it out before everyone else does, this will help propel you way ahead of your competition. But which level of EV charging is best for your spot? Let's figure it out. If you're new here, my name's Trevor, and if not, welcome back to the channel. I helped launch 2 EV charging startups, and now I make videos on how it works. And I promise you, if you subscribe to this channel, you'll learn everything you need to know to stay ahead of the curve. Today, I want to dive into why level 2 EV charging might be the best fit for really any business that has parking stalls. All right, so when we talk about EV chargers, there are 3 main levels: level 1, level 2, and level 3, also known as DC fast charging. Level 1 is by far the slowest, level 3 is the fastest, but today I'm going to talk about why level 2 is actually in the sweet spot for most businesses. Level 2 EV charging sits in what I like to call the Goldilocks zone, because it's fast enough to be convenient for most EV drivers, but it doesn't come with the massive install costs of having to upgrade your electrical system for level 3 DC fast charging. But what does this mean for your business? First, let's talk about power. The biggest factor that makes level 2 charging the best choice really comes down to the power requirements. And when I say power, I mean the power going into the chargers from your building and the power coming out of the chargers into the EV. In a perfect fairy tale world, every business would have their own level 3 DC fast charger, but it just doesn't make sense because they require so much power that most businesses just don't have it available. In order to support level 3 chargers, it would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to run the power to their building, and this is even if the city gives them the green light and the permit to do so. Most level 2 EV chargers at about 25 miles or 40 kilometers of range into an EV per hour. But keep in mind, this depends on the size of the EV's battery and the speed of the charger. I don't know about you, but I'm not driving more than 40 kilometers a day. So an hour for me would be more than enough to top up my car. And if I'm shopping, why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone and charge my car at the same time? This is why level 2 EV charging is perfect for businesses where people spend a couple hours at a time. Next is pricing. Level 2 EV chargers are significantly cheaper to install than level 3 DC fast chargers. Level 1 is actually by far the cheapest, but it's so slow that it's intended for overnight charging. So unless you have people sleeping over at your business, level 2 charging is the way to go. The cost to install level 2 EV chargers vary greatly depending on a few different factors. The biggest one is how old your building is. In my experience, the older the building, the more expensive the install will be. The next one is how much power you have in your building. So if you have lots of power, then there's no need for a service upgrade and you can just run off your existing power. The last big one is the location of the chargers. So the further away the chargers are from your electrical room, the more expensive the install will be. But I hate when I watch a video and they don't just tell me a price. So I'm going to throw a number out there and say, if you budget 8 grand Canadian per level 2 charger, that should be more than enough. But the only way to get a true cost is to have an electrician stop by and give you a quote. I've seen level 2 charger install quotes for commercial spaces as low as 3 grand each. And I've also seen them go up all the way to 15 grand each. So it really depends on the building. Obviously, we want to get these chargers installed for as cheap as possible so we can break even fast and start making a return on our investment. Speaking about return on investment, let's talk about making our money back. Once the EV chargers are installed, they can start generating revenue for your business. But how much money they'll be bringing in really depends on a few different factors. Some of the biggest factors are the cost of electricity in your area, the average price of EV charging in your city, And a big one is the demand for EV charging. So how many electric cars you have in your area. I discuss how to calculate profits in my next video. But if all the stars align, you can probably break even on your chargers in about 3 years. But the biggest factor that will determine how quickly you can break even is the amount of money you'll get back from the government in rebates. Where I live, the government offers to pay for up to 50% of the project. So in theory, you could get the government to split the cost with you. These rebates are sneaky though. They're constantly changing and there's lots of rules and guidelines that you need to follow to make sure you're eligible to apply for the incentives. In my experience, the easiest way is to just track down the phone number and give them a call. One thing to note, and this is pretty important, is you won't get your rebate until after the project is finished. One of the requirements to get your incentive or your rebate is to send in the proof of purchase, and this is usually the invoice. So it may behoove you to make sure that you meet all the requirements and that you're eligible for the rebate before you start writing checks and paying for a project. The next one is creating customer loyalty. So if you're a business owner and you're uncomfortable with the idea of charging your customers extra to use your EV chargers, then you could be creative, and as an alternative, let's say all the dollars that they spend at your business could be added up towards credits that they could use towards your EV chargers. Or if you're feeling very generous, you could offer free EV charging for your VIP customers. The next one I'll mention is pretty interesting, and it's about increasing the visibility of your business through the PlugShare app. So every EV charger that's installed for public use will be listed and shown on a map called PlugShare. When EV drivers are in need of a charge, they'll open the PlugShare app, and this app will show them all the EV chargers in their area that they can use. If you were to install EV chargers at your business, they'd be uploaded and shown on the PlugShare app. And this could help bring in new customers to your location that have never heard of your business before. I wouldn't call it free advertising, but it will certainly be a unique way to increase visibility of your business. So to recap, level 2 charging is almost always the best option for really any business based on the convenience for your customers and the cost efficiency for you. If you're considering installing EV chargers, I really hope this video helped. And as always, if you're working on your own project, feel free to give me a shout and I can point you in the right direction. Again, if you're wondering why my surroundings look different, it's because I'm still traveling. So hello from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I really appreciate all my new subscribers. Thanks so much for checking in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.